Hollywood just witnessed the ultimate betrayal. Its most powerful, untouchable, finally toppled by his own smug arrogance. Robert De Niro, the man who once defined cinematic greatness, has plunged into the deepest scandal of his career, and this time, not even Tinseltown's biggest clubs can give him a safe house. The cliffhanger? Before the news feeds could stop burning, Apple Studios fired De Niro on the spot, scrapping a $100 million mob epic, deleting his face from the posters, and leaving his legacy crumbling as even his most loyal allies scatter. Is this the end of De Niro as a Hollywood legend? Or just the first domino in a total celebrity meltdown that could take the A-list with it? Hold that thought, because once you see how fast the loyalty of the industry curdled when real money and genuine public outrage collided, you'll never look at mob movies, Oscar winners, or viral woke rants the same way again. Let's start with the night that shook America. On September 10th, headlines exploded. Charlie Kirk, love him or hate him, was assassinated in cold blood. Communities everywhere stopped, families mourned, churches prayed, and Republicans and Democrats, for a rare moment, put politics aside to acknowledge that a line had been crossed. But not in Hollywood. No pause, no respect, just a rush to the nearest studio green room to figure out who the tragedy trending. At the front of the mob, Robert De Niro, the king of the gangster flicks, the man who once glared through Godfather sequels and stole every scene as a Scorsese anti-hero, is now reduced, by his own hand, to scrambling for retweets with venomous political monologues. Within hours of Kirk's murder, insiders reported De Niro blowing up at every opportunity: talk shows, social media, PR appearances. Not a word of sorrow, just a weaponization of death, a feverish rant about Trump voters, right-wing hate, and those crazy people in the heartland who he blamed for everything. It was the last straw for an industry that, hours before, still quietly worshipped the guy. Insiders at Apple Studios said the board made their call overnight. De Niro was done. Their $100 million mob epic, months of script development, years of casting, a planned spring shoot, was erased from the slate in a single executive meeting. There would be no recast, no second chance, no easy pivot. The studio would rather lose everything than ride out the PR apocalypse of another De Niro tirade tied to their brand. This wasn't a one-off, and it wasn't just De Niro. For years, his career had been wobbling, not with iconic performances, but with unfiltered red carpet political attacks. Remember before the 2024 election? De Niro took the stage like a boxer spoiling for a fight, not for an Oscar speech, but a viral video of him cursing out half the country, ranting about fascists, and embarrassing himself on national TV. He went so far over the edge that even loyal fans cringed, but instead of a wake-up call, he doubled down. Each new tragedy, each new cultural controversy, was another excuse to bash Trump and rally his Twitter army. And it wasn't just words. Warner Brothers had already axed him after Alto Nights tanked at the box office, becoming one of the year's most expensive flops. Audiences didn't show up. Not for the De Niro brand, not for the classic mobster nostalgia, not for anything connected to the new holier-than-thou De Niro. The result? The biggest studios in Hollywood, the people who grew up worshipping the man's performances, started ghosting his calls. This is a guy who used to get projects greenlit on a handshake. Now he's reduced to desperate calls, begging for one more headline role, and nobody's biting. Even his own team sees the disaster coming. Handlers are pleading with De Niro to shut down the political act. "You're burning every bridge you built in 5 decades, one manager said, "and all you're getting in return is retweets." But De Niro won't listen. He is, by his own admission, too committed to the truth to stop attacking what he calls the new American fascists. His obsession runs deeper than any role he ever played. The result? The De Niro domino is just the first to fall. The meltdown isn't isolated to one faded legend. It's a cautionary tale for every Hollywood icon who thought the social media age would always love them. Just look. As De Niro's PR crash burned, Stephen King and Mark Hamill joined him in the outrage inferno. King's latest big-screen adaptation, The Long Walk, starring Hamill, should have been a lock at the box office. Two symbols of pop culture fandom, decades of goodwill. What happened? Another complete disaster. Empty theaters, apathetic audiences, critics saying, The only horror is how tone-deaf these legends have become. The connection with the public was severed. It wasn't about entertainment anymore. It was about endless lectures, politics, and a total failure to read the room. It's a pandemic of irrelevance. When actors and authors become activists first, the wall separating character from creator vanishes. You try to watch De Niro on cable, and all you see is that viral, ranting boomer clip from last year. King's interviews are eclipsed by his Twitter flame wars. Hamill is no longer Luke Skywalker. He's the guy retweeting insults at fans with one hand while cashing Disney checks with the other. When ideology eclipses artistry, the magic is gone. But here's the twist. Audiences are wide awake. Over the past 2 years, viewers have watched celebrity credibility crater in real time. The same names who once filled theaters and packed streaming launches are now synonymous with a kind of Hollywood flu, out of touch, smirking, judgmental, totally blind to the idea that millions are sick of being trashed by their supposed entertainers. You know it's dire when studios start cutting legends without a backup plan. Apple Studios would rather trash a $100 million mob epic, something that's their bread and butter, than risk another 30 days tied to De Niro's Twitter tantrums. Warner Brothers dumped him, Lionsgate quietly stepped back from King's new slate, and Netflix programmers comb scripts for controversy risks. It's not cancel culture. It's profit panic, because the trust between artist and public is gone. And if you think this stops with the A-list, look to daytime TV. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, names you know, faces that once drew viewers, now almost universally derided as professional outrage engines. Comedy and late night, even SNL, the last bastion of old-school media snark, has nearly lost the public completely. Mocking half the country just isn't funny anymore. It's tedious, destructive. The dominoes will keep falling as long as the industry keeps mistaking viral outrage for viral popularity. De Niro had a choice. Dial it back, focus on the work, try to reconnect. He chose celebrity activism, and now he's reaping the whirlwind. Execs, for their part, finally realized what every paying audience member has known for years. Nothing kills the magic like an out-of-touch megastar using your ticket money as a megaphone to insult you. And let's talk legacy. At one time, you could watch The Godfather or Goodfellas and lose yourself to the world of the film. Now, it's impossible. De Niro is just the angry guy from late-night montage clips, the one who'll sell out the audience for one more viral applause line. The fourth wall is gone. The mystique, dead. This is what happens when Hollywood loses the plot. And don't think for one moment De Niro is the last. In a world where everyone becomes a brand and every brand turns political, legends can fall. And the bigger they are, the harder and louder the crash. So, what now? The industry's star makers will try to blame right-wing trolls, cancel culture, or internet hate. They'll mumble about creative freedom and speaking truth to power. But viewers have seen too much. The trust is broken. The illusion is shattered. Once you see your favorite actor in a cable news meltdown, you can't unsee it, and you'll never buy their performances the same way again. That brings us to the real question, a question Hollywood never thought it would have to answer. Is Robert De Niro finished for good? Will King and Hamill ever fill theaters again after years of turning every press tour into a political rally? Are audiences finally hungry for less division, less anger, and more storytelling? Because if the De Niro domino is any clue, the people have already spoken. Sound off in the comments. Are you done with the Hollywood machine? Will you pay to see De Niro or Hamill again? Or is that chapter as dead as any mob boss in a De Niro flick? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Woke Watch. Because one thing's for sure, if Hollywood doesn't wake up and stop burning bridges for retweets, there won't be a single legend left standing for the next generation to remember. This isn't just the end of an actor's career, it's the collapse of an era, and you just watched it happen. One rant, one scandal, one lost audience at a time.